Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi washabbihi ajma'in. Wa ba'd. Laqad qala Allah Ta'ala fi kitabihil karim. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhalladzina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatih wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. Sobat Ilham TV, kali ini kita akan menyajikan sebuah pidato yang sempat menghebohkan. Pidato dari seorang pendeta yang salah satu isinya itu mengakui betapa Islam itu adalah agama yang benar. Kita tampilkan video ini bukan berarti kita sebagai umat Islam pengen mendapatkan pengakuan dari orang non-muslim. Karena umat Islam yakin bahwasanya inna dina indallahil Islam. Sesungguhnya din yang diridhoi di sisi Allah adalah Islam. Dalam pidato ini sang pendeta mengajak kepada jemaatnya ya, supaya saling menghormati sesama manusia, menghormati umat Islam. Dan kita sebagai umat Islam yang menonton video ini, mudah-mudahan kita sebagai umat Islam ini menjadi contoh atau teladan bagi umat yang lain, bahwasanya Islam itu adalah agama yang penuh kedamaian, menghormati sesama manusia meskipun berbeda agama. Lakum dinukum waliyadin. Untukmu agamamu dan untukku agamaku. Kita menghormati perbedaan, dan cara menghormati perbedaan itu tidak harus dengan mencampur adukkan akidah. Kita harus yakin dengan akidah kita adalah akidah yang benar. Tapi kita sebagai sesama manusia wajib untuk saling menghormati. Baik, bagi Anda yang menonton video ini yang belum subscribe, silahkan di subscribe dulu, dikasih like, dan kalau bisa di-share sebanyak-banyaknya. Mudah-mudahan bagi Anda yang subscribe video ini, saya doakan untuk menjadi orang-orang yang sukses, hidupnya penuh barokah, lancar rezeki dan lain sebagainya. Amin, Allahumma amin. Baik, kita tonton video berikut ini.
In many quarters, there is a desperate need in America today. In America this week, for a healthy dose of religious humility. There are too many people getting too much face time on television who claim exalted status for Christianity and who are demeaning other faith traditions, particularly that of Islam. And my friends, this has got to stop. The trigger for this latest wave of intolerance is media coverage, many of you have seen it, about a plan to build a Muslim community center 2 blocks from Ground Zero. The center will have a mosque, an auditorium, and a pool. It is modeled after YMCAs and Jewish community centers all across the country. For all I know, it's got locker rooms and childcare. Now, to be very clear here, reasonable, faithful, caring people can disagree about how they feel about this facility being built so close to Ground Zero. But that does not justify the wave of fear and suspicion that has washed over this country over the last 10 days. The media are now calling this a wave of Islamophobia that is sweeping across America. I saw a story this week on CNN about a minister in Gainesville, Florida, who has declared September 11th of this year Burn the Quran Day. Thank you for your reaction. That was mine. This guy is a minister at a non-denominational church called the Dove World Outreach Center. He said all kinds of disparaging, insulting, inaccurate things about Islam that I'm not going to repeat from this pulpit. His message is about hate and fear. And I can assure you, there is nothing in the Gospels, there is nothing in the teaching of Jesus Christ that says anything about burning the holy texts of other traditions. It is not there. The proposed burning of the Quran is obscene. It is not the work of peace. It is not the work of understanding. It is not the work of building bridges. It is insanity. Now, the good news is there are a lot of groups, a lot of churches, even the National Association of Evangelicals, who are condemning this action and urging the church to cancel their event. A conversation about God demands grace and openness, a willingness to learn, to have our own ideas challenged, our convictions questioned. These are the hallmarks of humility. When I was in seminary, I read from someone whose name is lost to me now, when you speak of God, your voice should shake a little. You know, Jesus had no time for religious know-it-alls. He saved some of his harshest criticism for church leaders, for the Pharisees, the religious leaders who were so certain about who was out and who was in, who was holy and unholy, clean and unclean. Jesus was forever taking all this religious certainty and turning it on its head. And we can only imagine what Jesus would have said about Pastor Terry Jones and his Burn the Quran campaign. I think he would say, this has got to stop. Followers of Islam believe that the Quran is a collection of revelations received by the Prophet Muhammad from God about 1400 years ago. They believe that Muhammad was the last of a series of prophets and teachers and messengers that included Adam, Moses, Jesus, Abraham, all names revered by us as well. The word Islam means peaceful surrender to the will of God. The Quran was written at a time when the Muslim people were being driven from their homes, persecuted, and killed. The Old Testament was written at a time when Jewish people were being driven from their homes, persecuted, and killed. And religious scholars will tell you that most holy scriptures have stories of war and violence in them. Throughout history, most faiths have used these texts to justify violence. And if there's anyone in this room at this moment who's thinking that I've got it wrong, after church today, pull out your Bible and look up Psalm 137. And you'll see that our own text has passages that can make us uncomfortable. But also, like the Bible, the predominant message of the Quran is of peace and care and loving God, justice, care for the neighbor, care for the stranger. In the Bible, we have thou shalt not kill. In the Quran, we have whoever kills another, surely he is killing all of humanity. And whoever saves the life of another, surely he saves the lives of all humanity. These are words of peace, words of faith, words that could save the world if we would take them to heart. The second thing you can do the next time someone sends you one of those emails demonizing Islam, delete it. Don't forward it. Don't participate in the stereotyping. Don't give in to your fear. It's okay to be a little afraid. We all have those emotions. Just don't give in to it. Don't sign on for it. Don't focus on this tiny group of extremists who commit acts of violence. Focus on the hundreds of millions of Muslim people in the world who are people of faith, whose priorities and concerns and families are not so different from your own. And third, when you think of Muslim people, think of individuals. Think of the professor at Ohio State. Think of the engineer at Honda. Think of the teacher at the elementary school down the street. When you think of Muslim people, remember those who died on 9/11, not the hijackers. There was only a handful of them. Remember Mohammed Sunhami Hamandi. He was born in Pakistan. He came to the United States as a small child with his parents. He played high school football. He went to college. He became a part-time ambulance driver. He died, this Muslim young man, on 9/11, trying to rescue people and save lives. When you think of Muslim people, remember Mohammed Salahuddin Cloudhurry. He was a waiter at Windows on the World, which was at the top of the World Trade Center. He died that day. His wife had their baby 2 days later. When you think of Muslim people, remember Rama Salih. She was a woman, 28 years old. Her neighbors described her as fun and outgoing and generous. And she died on American Airlines Flight 11, 7 months pregnant with her first child. Remember the founder of the Islamic Circle of North America, who worked in the World Trade Center and also died on September 11th. That same group now is giving away tens of thousands of copies of the Quran in response to the campaign about burning the Quran. In the language of their own tradition, they are spreading words of faith and peace and hope. One of the ladies at the 8:30 service this morning said to me after, maybe we should declare September 11th, buy a Quran and read some of it. It is for us to share our message of love and hope and peace, but let us do it with grace and respect and above all, humility. God grant us, as individuals, as a nation, as Christians, the humility for this work.
Pidato dari pendeta tadi sebetulnya sebuah pidato dalam rangka untuk menanggapi gelombang Islamofobia yang terjadi di Amerika Serikat setelah terjadi peristiwa 11 September. Dan meskipun video ini sudah lama, tapi masih relevan untuk kita tonton pada masa sekarang. Karena sampai saat ini pun juga masih banyak orang yang Islamofobia. Ya karena mereka tidak paham tentang ajaran Islam. Dan selama ini mereka juga selalu suudzon, menganggap Islam itu sangat negatif, menganggap Islam itu mengajak untuk membunuh orang dan sebagainya. Baiklah, itu saja untuk video kita kali ini. Mudah-mudahan bermanfaat. Jangan lupa untuk kita menjaga perdamaian dunia. Kita saling menghormati, karena Islam memerintahkan kita untuk menghormati orang meskipun berbeda keyakinan. Sampai di sini dulu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.